you guys. So I gotta warn you about like 5 minutes into this video, it's gonna like snap to another Kenya because the second half of this video was filmed 2 weeks ago, and the first half of this video is being filmed like now as you see it. So like ignore that, but I really want to discuss the things that I discussed in that half, but I want to come on here and discuss Jackie. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, the Jackie reckoning began. All of a sudden, you had people coming for Jackie and saying that Jackie was not a good doctor, and they had proof. They had proof. So Heavenly did a live with Jackie. Heaven and Jackie do lives often. Jackie and Heavenly are the closest. Heavenly are the closest on the show. And Jackie on the live said that yes, Black women do die at alarming rates during childbirth and during pregnancy. So we as Black women need to do a better job at being more specific about our stuff, about what's wrong with us, and not over exaggerating, not being over the top when we do have things wrong with us, as well as saying that, you know, your doctor shouldn't see you 25 times when you're pregnant. And she was going on about stuff like that. I think it is very actually important that we do call out Jackie when it comes to stuff like this. I am not from the cloth that someone is above being called in. I think it's important, especially when you are a Black woman and you give care to Black women, especially pregnancy care, for people to feel like they can call you in and say something that you have done wrong. Jackie was absolutely inappropriate to say something like that. It's disgusting, and it perpetuates this idea that Black women are dramatic about their pain. Black women are lying about their pain. And then I challenge you this, Jackie. Let's say someone is being dramatic. Let's say someone is being over the top. Ain't it your damn job? They not asking you to do shit but your damn job. You acting like they asking you to go down to the grocery store and pick up them some goddamn Oreos. Like they just asking you to do your job. What is it to you if someone you're seeing, someone who is paying you, is asking you, hey, I have a headache today. And it's not going away. What is it to you to run some tests, to ask some questions, to look into some stuff? All it is your damn job. Like, that's the part that always kills me when doctors talk about, ooh, people could be lying, people could be this. You still, at the end of the day, are just doing your job, just doing the thing that you are getting paid to do. I get if someone is maybe asking you to do something that is out of your damn wheelhouse. They asking you to babysit tonight. But that is not what they are asking you to do. They are asking you to do your job. So at the worst of it, you just had to work a little more. But at the best, you could have saved someone's life. Jackie knows people who have died during childbirth. She has known people who have died during pregnancy. Jackie is a well-learned and she's a mature OBGYN. She's been around. So you should know more than anyone what due diligence is. Just doing it. And you know what? If it's nothing, well, that's great, right? But if it is something, shouldn't you want to see? Shouldn't you want to do that? That's the thing about... This could go into a whole spill of people just not wanting to do their goddamn jobs these days. Like, this is just your job. This is just something that don't you want pregnant women to have peace of mind? Don't you want them to feel good? And then, Black women specifically, we know the harm and the danger that comes with getting pregnant. We know that people don't listen to us. We know that we could die. And so... wouldn't you, knowing that as well, because Jackie has said that many times, wouldn't you want to make sure a pregnant mother has as little stress as possible? And if that means running a couple tests, sending them to someone else to get a second opinion, like doing what you can do. I'm sick and tired of people acting like doing a job is sometimes you disadvantaging them. You're hurting them by asking them to do their damn job. Especially when we are talking about two people's lives, these people's child and these women. I don't like it. I don't like it, Jackie, and it's not good. And so then you have the people over on TikTok coming out and telling their stories about having to deal with Jackie. And 100%, I'm always going to listen to them. And Jackie, you also should listen to them. Jackie has put out an apology, and that is good. And I hope she genuinely takes in what people have been saying. Like, no one should be traumatized during pregnancy. No one should feel like their doctor did not care about them. Like I said, no one is above reproach. No one is above being called in, especially a medical professional. And oftentimes you do get medical professionals who just feel like because they've gone through all this schooling, because they have this money, because they have this acclaim, this power, this prestige, that they are above us regular folks who didn't go to the schooling that they did. Like, what do you know? You listening to Dr. Google and all this stuff, and it's just like, number one, you know the issues with healthcare in this country. A lot of people have to go to Google to get their solutions because they don't want to pay the copay. They don't want to pay the copay for something if they go into the doctor's office. So you know why people are doing that. And that's the part that frustrates me, right? This idea that you are making it seem like these people are dumb, or these people just don't know any better. These people are being dramatic, and not as if these people are just desperate. They're desperate to make sure their child comes to term. They're desperate to make sure their child is able to see life. They're desperate to make sure they don't die during childbirth. They're desperate to make sure they get the care that they deserve and require. That's what they're desperate. That's why they're not doing this because they just want you to have to work a little more. They don't give a shit about it. They want to make sure they're healthy. So Jackie, yes, it is very irresponsible to spew that type of rhetoric, because if you as a black woman believe this, what the hell the rest of them thinking? What the hell the rest of them thinking? Come on, we have to be smarter than that. We have to be better than that. So I'm all for Jackie being called in because it matters. Because it matters. It matters when we are talking about black women in their health. And I don't think anyone should be afraid to call out a medical professional who they feel like has harmed them. And that is my thoughts on that. And baby, everybody is getting a licking. It's so interesting to see that Buffy still hate Jackie. And you know what? What can I say? Buffy got big beef with Jackie. Buffy brought up, that she thinks Simone is a better doctor than Jackie. And you know what? That's what they got going on. I can't really get into the weeds about that. But like I said, when it comes to everything about Jackie and her medical practice, the game is the game. Like, if you're going to treat people poorly, or people feel like you treated them poorly, you got to fess up to it. You got to own it. And the most important part is you got to do better. You got to simply do better. And yes, you have rich people who Jackie has given care to coming out and being like, well, she was amazing to me. I didn't have no problems with her. And it's like, that's great for you. That's great for you. It's kind of like when people be like, when you go into surgery and they be like, this surgery is 99% effective. Only such and such people have died. And it's just like, what if I'm the such and such? Then that don't matter. None of them statistics matter to me if I'm the person dead. None of it matters to me, So like, you have to, like, so people's fear is warranted. And that's the same thing. It's great that you, rich person, have had a great experience with Jackie, but the rest of the girls haven't. And their feelings are valid. Anyways, now we can get into them getting Quad kicked off of this show, okay? Hello, you guys. Welcome back to As Told by Kenya. I want to come on here today and discuss Married to Medicine. We have a lot of things at play right now on Married to Medicine. We have the episode that came on Sunday of Married to Medicine, where Quad is kicked off indefinitely. We have Quad's interview with Carlos King, and then we have Heavenly and Carlos King going live, which they do every week, discussing the episodes. So I am just going to take what I find in common about all three of those things and discuss those things. First and foremost, I want to just discuss the Quad of it all. I am going to say this, and this might sound like I'm sniffing Quad's draws too much, but stay with me. Quad is very easy to dislike if you find yourself disliking women a lot. Stay with me. here's the thing. When it comes to Married to Medicine, Toya is actually my favorite person on Married to Medicine. Toya has been my favorite person on Married to Medicine since season 1. Toya is my favorite. She's my problematic fave. Toya is one of those people who I hate the love. I hate that I love Toya because I see so many flaws in Toya, but that's why I like Toya. So this is not coming from Quad being my favorite person on the show. I just think Quad is very entertaining and I want good television. I'm saying Quad is easy to hate because it is very hard to put Quad in a box. It is very hard to be like, Quad, this is one thing you do not have, therefore this is what I can always use against you. There is nothing you can specifically use against Quad. And that is something that everybody else on this show cannot relate to. Jackie only has her education and her practice. Beyond that, Jackie is just not very interesting. So you can always say Jackie is boring. Heavenly is messy. People got on the way that Heavenly look. Everything that Heavenly is very around the way in many ways. You can get on Heavenly about that. Simone is also around the way. Then you have Toya. Toya comes across as dumb, no offense. Toya has money problems and Toya don't have no real job. Like, we don't know nothing of Toya having a job, even though I'm pretty sure she was a teacher before she became a stay-at-home wife. So there's always something to use against people on this show. Mariah got her ass kicked off her own show that she created. And I could go down this. There's something that you can take away from each of these ladies if you find yourself at odds with them. Quad is not necessarily that. Quad has a little bit of something. She don't got a lot of something, but she has a little bit of everything. Quad is not ugly. Quad is an educated person. Quad is well-spoken. Quad had the whole housewife thing, so you can't sit here and be like she was never a stay-at-home. She already did that. Quad has been someone who has had a job. Quad does make friends very easily. Quad is very sociable, and Quad is very entertaining. Therefore, Quad is just the full package. That is why Quad was the breakout star of this show, because she has everything you want in a television character in ways that everybody else on this show did not like. And I think that is why a lot of people are very easily turned off by Quad. I said this in the last one. I think people are more annoyed when Quad does something than when everyone else does something. It's because Quad is easy to hate. If you're going to just let Quad walk all over you, it's not something you can stomach because you like, what else does this bitch not have? You know, like, what else am I going to give this bitch? There's nothing you can knock her for. So therefore, if you find her speaking out of turn, being rude, being this, you are going to harbor on it because it is easy to dislike Quad. But that does not take away from the fact I do not believe, this is what Heavenly said on the Carlos King live, I do not believe all these girls are lying on Heavenly. I do not believe all these girls are lying on Quad. Quad does show up late. Quad does say she don't want to film with them. Quad does not like these women. I want Quad to just admit that. This goes to the Carlos King interview where Quad is always going to play the victim, but Quad, in some ways, you are not the victim. Quad, you don't like these women, and I want you to admit that. You could take or leave these women. Quad has not been invested in having a real relationship with any of these women since like season 5. Since like season 5, Quad has not been invested in having a real relationship. Quad sees this as what it is. It is a television show. So Quad, you just gonna have to stand on that. That's just your truth. Like, you don't like these girls. And so like you trying to be like you care so deeply that these girls don't want to be your friend is not true. If y'all weren't on Married to Medicine, you would not think twice about being friends with these girls. And another thing you have to be honest about is that when this show is not filming, you are not friends with anybody on this show because you do not want to. You have found your people in Atlanta who you want to be friends with, and it is not these women. But this is where I push back. The only reason why these women want Quad to say that she wants to be friends with them is not because they actually want to be friends with Quad. They want what it would represent if Quad would be their friend. Stay with me. I do not believe Jackie, Heavenly, Toya, and anybody else, Simone, anybody else on this show wants to be friends with Quad. I do not think they sit at home and be like, what is Quad up to? Because you have to keep in mind, these women, I think, have very little respect for Quad, quite honestly. I think they always see Quad as beneath them. Because they see Quad as beneath them and they've been knowing Quad for 10 years, They want Quad to want to be their friend because it would signify that Quad doesn't think she's better than them. They already think that Quad thinks she's better than them. So if Quad gives them a pound of flesh and it's like, I want to be your friend, it would represent to them that Quad doesn't think she's better than them. But when Quad gives them her ass to kiss, it proves what they already think about Quad. And that is what I want the other girls to admit. It is not about being Quad's friend. You guys do not care about being Quad's friend. You want Quad to say she will be your friend because it will prove to y'all that Quad does not think she's better than y'all. And y'all have always thought Quad thought she was better than y'all once she was the breakout star, even though y'all have more to offer when it comes to education, when it comes to money, when it comes to y'all being doctors. Y'all have always had more to offer than her as just, successful people, and it bothers y'all. I'm sorry, you have to follow me on that, but that's what this is, and that's why this whole takedown of Quad is disingenuous. Here is the thing. I would rather y'all be like, I don't fuck with Quad. It's time to get Quad the fuck out of here. Bad Girls Club style. When it was just like, you know what? It's time to get this girl kicked out the house. Let's throw her mattress in the pool. That's what I would rather respect. Y'all just being like, I ain't never fuck with Quad and it's time to get Quad out of here. Instead of y'all pretending that y'all give a fuck about Quad being y'all friend. Y'all do not care if Quad is y'all friend. Quad, y'all want a pound of flesh from Quad. Y'all want Quad to come in here humble and be like, I need y'all. Now, I believe that Quad does need y'all. I don't think Quad can do more outside of Married to Medicine. That's just the truth of it all, if you ask me. But y'all don't actually want to be friends with Quad. You want Quad to humble herself and say she wants, that she needs y'all. That's what y'all want. Quad saying she'll be friends with y'all is y'all finally having y'all moment like, I had Quad, you had all of this, and you still need us. And that's what all this is. Let's get into the episode of this being disingenuous. Why are these women playing on our intelligence that this was not all orchestrated when they all sat down for dinner, the four, Heavenly, Simone, Jackie, and Toya, when they all sat down and talked about going to Napa? Y'all knew y'all was kicking Clyde off of this goddamn trip. We all see, even a blind man can see that this was always going to happen. So when everything comes and everyone shows up, why are y'all sitting here acting like there was ever a moment where Quad could make things right? That's what I don't enjoy about these last two episodes. It's not even necessarily getting Quad kicked off the show. I've seen takedowns on many reality shows I watch. It's not even necessarily that bothers me. It's y'all sitting there being disingenuous as if Quad ever had a chance to even stay on this trip. From the moment y'all invited Quad on this trip, y'all either one, did not want her to show up. One, so it was just gonna be like you ain't even show up, so you done. That would have been the easier route. Or two, her showing up, y'all knew y'all were going to kick her off. And that's why I think when the episode starts and Quad does show up, you get Toya being hostile towards her for no reason, talking about the rooms. Like, that is what this was. Y'all always, if Quad was going to show up, y'all were going to kick her out. And that's why Phaedra jumped ship. Phaedra did not want to be on a sinking ship. I go back and forth on if to blame Phaedra or not for not sticking up for Quad, because at the end of the day, like, what the fuck does Phaedra owe Quad? Maybe something, but also like, girl, if they don't like you, I'ma still be on the show. We always know Phaedra's faulty. So like, it's bad. I don't even think it matters where Phaedra stands on this, but y'all knew y'all was gonna kick her out. So then when she comes in and she's on her humble tip and she's not giving y'all the smoke that y'all truly desire, y'all are trying to find other angles. Y'all are trying, and Toya comes up with this random angle like, I just want everybody here to support me on my wine, You do not care about that. Y'all keep trying to find ways to get Quad the fuck up out of here. And it's not about being her friend. And I hate that y'all are sitting up here being like, you just don't want to be friends with us. You just don't want to be friends with us. Y'all don't want Quad to be your friend. Y'all do not want Quad to be your friend. Y'all are done with Quad. Quad has done too much. Now, this is where I go back and forth. Are they on the right side of being done with Quad? Are they not on the right side of being done with Quad? I do not know. I think a lot of this has to do with behind the scenes stuff, especially if you listen to Heavenly. It's behind the scenes stuff. And it's Quad being disrespectful, Quad being rude, Quad not showing up on time. And if that's the case, then you know what? They're well into their rights to do that. And also, Quad has, skirted around taking accountability to doing anything wrong to any of these women for years. I don't think Quad has given a genuine apology on this show since she's been on this show. So Quad does have to stand in that. And then a lot of people have had falling out with Quad and have forgiven Quad for their falling out. The only person who I do not know why they're mad at Quad. I do not understand the Simone and Quad issue. I do not. And maybe I would have to go back and do a rewatch to when they kind of fell out with each other, because I do not know why they dislike each other. Like, why is Simone caring all that fucking much about Quad? But that just goes into this just being a calculated takedown, and y'all don't care about being this girl friend. Another thing we are going to discuss is the Dr. G of it all. I said this on the very first episode. None of these women can tell me a single thing about friendship when y'all decided to bring Dr. G on this show. Some Quad brought this up on Carlos King's podcast. On the reunion, Greg did admit to putting his hands on Quad. What I always took from that reunion is that Quad was in some way allegedly abused by Dr. G in some way. It was alluded to, and I could be wrong on that. But that's what I took from that. And that's why I thought Dr. G would never be on television again. And Quad brought this up, and I did forget this. They did downplay what he admitted doing. They did downplay everything. Like, I don't think that happened. They did try to protect Dr. G in all of this. And this just comes from all these women being like Gen X/boomers. Like, they ain't never gonna take women's side when it comes to marriages and abuse. They just not. That's just not them. They're just not gonna do it. And so y'all are sitting here and didn't even tell Quad that Dr. G was coming back on the show with Sweet Tea. And I ask you, I think Carlos King asked the same thing. Could we bring Cecil Little Friend on the show? If Quad did a scene with Cecil Little Friend on the show, Simone would drag Quad to hell. If Quad did a little scene with Jackie Mistress, Jackie would immediately call for Quad's head. If Quad did Quad did a scene with one of Toya and Eugene's financial advisors and tried to get the tea on her finances, or if she sat down with the owner of one of them houses Toya and Eugene renting, Toya would be fucking pissed. So why is everybody else's tea off limits and Quad's tea is just have at it? Now, Heavenly says, let's play devil's advocate. Heavenly says she did this in order to bring Quad into the fold. But like, is this the way to do it? Is this the way to do it? Y'all couldn't even like give Quad like the idea of just let's invite Quad to stuff. If she don't show up, that's how she leave. Like, why not even go in here with good faith? Having Sweet Tea and Greg on the show was done in bad faith, and none of these women feel like they have to speak to that. And that's what I don't understand. The next thing where I'm also, be on Quad's side, these girls being friends, I also can't stand too much on their side about Quad not being a friend. Because who on this show is really friends? Simone and Jackie are. Jackie and Heavenly are. And Simone and Toya are. Nobody else on this show is close. And none of these things intermix. Toya does not like Heavenly. I don't know why we are acting like this is a thing. Toya does not like Heavenly, and I don't think Heavenly liked Toya all that much. Heavenly and Toya, as of late, maybe they done got back together now to make up for the fact that they got rid of Quad, but they are not sitting there grabbing brunch. So they are not friends either. They are not calling each other up on the phone, Toya and Heavenly. Toya don't like Heavenly, Heavenly don't like Toya. They don't call each other all types of names. We know Simone and Toya are close. Toya and Simone are close. Is Jackie friends with Toya? Is Toya friends with Jackie? I don't think so. I just don't think so. And then you have Jackie and Simone. So this idea that everybody just need to be friends, if Phaedra gets brought onto the show and Phaedra and Quad are friends, if they played it that angle, that would be perfectly fine because the rest of y'all are only friends with one other person. And then that one other person you're friends with kind of connects you to the next person. So Toya bringing friends with Simone connects Toya to Jackie because Simone and Jackie are friends. And then that connects Toya back to Heavenly because Jackie and Heavenly are friends. That's the only way all of y'all are friends. None of y'all are just coming around singing Kumbaya. Y'all just don't like Quad. Y'all just don't like Quad. And this is time for Quad to get her comeuppance. I can't tell you if she deserves it or not. But I just don't like how all of this is so disingenuous. As if y'all care that much about being friends with Quad. And it's more so what Quad not being friends with y'all represents. That Quad thinks she's better than y'all. But this is where I gotta not be on Quad's side. Quad does think she's better than y'all. Quad does not want to be friends with these people. And that's where it comes in. It's like, Quad, if you don't want to be friends with these people, why do you want to be on this show? You got to ask those questions too. If you don't want to be friends, she's never going to admit she don't want to be friends with these people because she still want to be on this show. But like, you don't want to be friends with these people, especially because everybody and their mama claim they friends with Quad, goddamn it. Everybody and their mama on any reality show friends with Quad. So it's like, you ain't even friends with your own cast, but you friends with everybody and their goddamn mama. And so like, there's, like I always said in the past video, everybody is telling a little bit of truth. Everybody is telling a little bit of truth, and then everybody else is acting like they don't have bad intentions for why they're doing certain things. And yes, I think that's Heavenly as well. Like, Heavenly only cares about this show continuing. I think Heavenly is kind of like the Ashley on Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, Heavenly just wants this show to continue, and she don't care what she got to do to make it continue. I don't think there is much loyalty to anything. Her only loyalty is to Jackie, but it's so easy to be loyal to Jackie because Jackie just ain't gonna say nothing that's gonna piss you off. That's just not Jackie's MO. But like, Quad should have chose a better friend. Quad should have stayed in cahoots with Simone. You should have stayed friends with Simone, and then they wouldn't be kicking you out. I guess the question begs, would I still watch without Quad? I always told you guys, Toya is my favorite character on the show, but Toya has not given a good storyline since she was building Dream Home number 3 or something. Like, Toya don't give shit. Like, that's the thing. Also, everybody is so close-lipped on this show now and don't give much of shit to this show. So, like, I don't know. If y'all could bring a good storyline, of course I watch. Like, shit, I used to love seeing Lisa Nicole get dragged every week. So, like, it don't take much to impress me. So, like, sure, but I just think Quad is so good for this show. I think the best lineup of this show is Quad, Contessa, Mariah, Toya, Jackie, and Simone. I think those 6 are a solid cast. A solid cast across the board. That's what it should be. But, oh, and Heavenly. I'm sorry, 7. 7. Heavenly. That's the best. That's the best cast of this show. And I think that the reason why so many people come in and come out, you can't even remember. I forgot we got a new girl that was pregnant last season. Like, I forgot. There's so many people that come in and come out because that 7 is the best configuration of the show. And no one else seems to stick. Sorry, y'all. Sweet Tea is like Fetch. Y'all not gonna make it happen. Like, I'm sorry, Sweet Tea is just not that interesting. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't stand for Dr. G because I don't stand for abuse against women, alleged or not. So I'm never going to stand for Dr. G, and I think Dr. G is slimy. So yeah, those are my Married to Medicine thoughts. So yeah, everyone's a little bit wrong, everyone's a little bit right. I will see you guys in the next one.